Dear friends, in this video lecture we are going to solve few numericals based on kinetic theory of gases, and in the successive video lectures we are going to solve some of the numericals based on the radiation. These numericals are from the exercise given in Maharashtra State Prescribed Bal Bharati's physics textbook for the standard 12. Now, the first numerical I had written on the board. What is that? If pressure of an ideal gas is decreased by 10% isothermally. Isothermal change means the change that occurs at constant temperature. Pressure is decreased by 10%. Then, what will be the change in its volume? The change of pressure is given. We have to determine the change of volume if this change takes place at constant temperature. Very obvious that we have to make use of the Boyle's law here. What is the Boyle's law? At constant temperature, the pressure exerted by given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. Therefore, P into V is a constant. Here, therefore, we will write P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Initial pressure, initial volume, final pressure, final volume. Here what is given? The pressure of an ideal gas is decreased by 10%. Decrease of pressure by 10% can be written as this P2 final pressure is less than that of the initial pressure by 10%, and it should be written like this one: P1 initial pressure minus 10% of initial pressure, that is 10 by 100 P1. Therefore, the final pressure will be equal to, it's 100 minus 10, 90 divided by 100 P1, and it should be equal to 0.9 P1. Therefore, final pressure P2 is 0.9 times that of the P1. Using this Boyle's law, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. I will write here P1 V1 is equal to, what I should write, P2 is equal to 0.9 P1 into V2, and this P1 get cancelled, and what remains here is V2 is equal to 1 divided by 0.9 into V1. It should be equal to 10 divided by 9 V1. It should be equal to 1.11 V1. Now, I will write this as V2 is equal to 1.11. It means that it is V1 plus 100 divided by 11 divided by 100 V1. V2 is equal to V1 plus 11 divided by 100 V1. Therefore, V2 increases by 11%. This is the expected answer. This is the second numerical, in which it is given that if A, what A means, A is the coefficient of absorption of a body. It comes in radiation. R, coefficient of reflection of a body, then the value of coefficient of transmission. Coefficient of absorption, coefficient of reflection, and coefficient of transmission of the radiant heat are related to each other by A plus R plus T are equal to 1. It comes from whenever radiant heat is incident on any of the body, the part of the heat is absorbed by the body. What amount of heat is absorbed by the body? It has been determined by coefficient of absorption. part of the heat is reflected by the body. By what amount it is reflected by the body, it is determined by coefficient of reflection, and part of the heat is transmitted by the body. What amount of the heat is transmitted by the body is given by coefficient of transmission. Now, the sum of the three coefficients is equal to 1. Therefore, if A equal to 0.74 and R equal to 0.24, then the value of coefficient of transmission will be, it is equal to 0.96 plus coefficient of transmission equal to 1, and hence coefficient of transmission is 1 minus 0.96. It should be come out to be 0.04, as it is the ratio of quantity of radiant heat transmitted by the body to quantity of radiant heat incident on it. It has no unit and its value is 0.04. It means that 4% of the radiant heat is transmitted by the body, 72% of the radiant heat is absorbed by the body, and 24% of the radiant heat is reflected by the body. This is again a simple MCQ, rather we will say, in which we have to determine the coefficient of transmission. Again, it is a very simple numerical here, which is in the form of multiple choice question. The ratio of emissive power of perfectly black body at 1327 degrees centigrade and at 527 degrees centigrade is. Here the temperature of perfectly black body is given in degree centigrade, and we know that the emissive power of perfectly black body is directly proportional to fourth power of its absolute temperature. This is the Stephen's law of radiation. E is directly proportional to fourth power of absolute temperature, or rather we say that the R is directly proportional to fourth power of radiant power, is directly proportional to fourth power of absolute temperature. Here the first temperature given for the comparison is 1327 degrees centigrade. We have to convert it into Kelvin, and 1327 plus 273, it comes out to be equal to 1600 Kelvin. And the second temperature that is given to us is 527 degrees centigrade. 527 plus 273, it comes out to be equal to 800 Kelvin. Then this emissive power R1 upon R2 is equal to, as it is directly proportional to fourth power of absolute temperature, R1 is equal to sigma T1 to the power of 4 and R2 is equal to sigma T to the power of 4. Sigma is the Stephen's constant and it is constant, therefore it gets cancelled. Therefore what remains here is T1 to the power of 4 divided by T2 to the power of 4, and hence it is 1600 to the power of 4 divided by 800 to the power of 4, and it comes out to be equal to 1600 divided by 800 to the power of 4. Therefore, I will get here R2 by R1 is equal to this. R2 by R1 equal to R2 by R1 is equal to 1600 divided by 800 is 2. It is 2 to the power of 4, and finally it comes out to be equal to 16:1. Therefore, this is one more numerical in which we have to calculate the ratio of mean square speeds of molecules at two different temperatures. Calculate the ratio of mean square speeds of molecules of a gas at 30 Kelvin and 120 Kelvin. The thing that is known to us is that this mean square speed is equal to 3 RT divided by capital M. This is the formula for that. The mean square speed is directly proportional to absolute temperature, and therefore this V1 square divided by V2 square should be equal to 3R by capital M is constant. Therefore, it is T1 divided by T2, That is 30 divided by 120 and it should be equal to 1 by 4. Therefore, the ratio of mean squares velocity is 1 by 4 because it is directly proportional to the temperature of the gas, absolute temperature of the gas, and as it is 30 Kelvin and 120 Kelvin, it is 4 times that of 30 and therefore the mean square speed has the ratio 1:4. This is one more problem that we are going to solve. What is given here? Two vessels A and B filled with same gas where capital V, capital T and capital P. What it means? Volume, absolute temperature and pressure in vessel A is twice that the volume, absolute temperature, pressure in vessel B. Calculate the ratio of molecules of gas in A to that of B. Now for this we have to make use of the ideal gas equation. What is that ideal gas equation? Ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT and it should be written as N. What N is? The number of moles present in a gas. I will write this as the number of molecules present in a gas, mass of each molecule divided by molecular mass into R into capital T. Using this relation, what you will get? I will write this as P1 V1 is equal to, with this, the number of molecules present here, capital N1, the mass of molecule small m and the molar mass. Here we are using the same gas, therefore mass of each molecule of a gas will be the same, the molar mass will be the same. Only difference is that the number of molecules are different, therefore I have taken N1 here and thereafter R is the universal gas constant, therefore it is T1 and therefore I will write the same as P2 V2 is equal to N2 into mass of each molecule small m, molar mass capital M, as it is same for the gas, and I will write here M and capital M and then universal gas constant capital R into T2. With this we are going to write this as this P2 I will write this P1 upon P2 is P1 upon P2, thereafter V1 upon V2 is equal to the number of molecules N1 upon N2, then temperature T1 upon T2. We will write this one like this one. With this, what you will get? In A, pressure is P1, volume of A vessel is V1 and temperature is T1. Then in the second case everyone is double. In the first vessel it is twice, therefore I will write it as 2 into 2. P1 is double that of the P2, V1 is double that of the V2 is equal to N1 upon N2 into the temperature of first is double that of the second, therefore it is 2. These two get cancelled and hence you will have N1 upon N2 is equal to 2:1. This is the ratio of the two number of molecules present in the vessel. This is the answer that you will get 2:1. We will read this problem first and then we will go for the solution of this one. Again, it is based on the pressure exerted by gas molecules on the walls of the container. Here, what is the problem? What is the numerical here? We will see. A gas in a cylinder is at pressure P if the masses of all molecules are made 1/3 of their original value. The mass, the total mass of gas molecule is made 1/3 of the original. We will take the original as M1 and the latter, it has been reduced to 1/3. The latter mass we will take as m2, and the speeds are doubled. The latter speed is, I will write it as v2. V2 is double that of the v1. This is obviously the RMS speed. Then find the resultant pressure. We have to determine the pressure. For pressure, we got a formula that the pressure exerted by the gas molecule is 1 upon 3 C into V square. It is V is the RMS speed. P is equal to 1 by 3 rho V square, where V is the RMS speed of the gas molecules. Now, I will write this as P is equal to 1 upon 3, the mass of the gas divided by volume of the gas. That will be mass per unit volume is the density. Therefore, m by V into V square. I will write here V as RMS speed and mean square velocity V square. Now, with this, I will write this as P1 upon P2 is equal to, it should be equal to m1 upon m2 into v1 square upon v2 square. It should be equal to, what it should be equal to? m1 upon m2. m1 upon m2, it should be equal to 3. m1 upon m2 is equal to 3 into this v1 upon v2 is 1 by 2 and square of it is 1 by 4. What is then find the resultant pressure. Resultant pressure, the P2. Resultant pressure P2 should be equal to, from this we will get the resultant pressure P2 should be equal to, from this it will be 4 divided by 3 into P1. Resultant pressure is 4 divided by 3 into P1. This is the resultant pressure that we will get. Okay, we will go for the next now. The next numerical is show that RMS velocity of oxygen molecule is root to 2 times that of the sulfur dioxide molecule at STP. The molecular mass of oxygen is 32 and molecular mass of sulfur dioxide is 64, and the RMS speed Vrms is equal to under root of 3 RT divided by capital M. This is the formula. Both are at the same temperature. R is universal gas constant, 3 is constant. Therefore, V1 upon V2. Here, 1 stand for oxygen and 2 stand for sulfur is equal to under root of M2 divided by M1. As I said, this 2 stand for sulfur dioxide and 1 stand for oxygen. Therefore, M2 it is 64 divided by 32. 64 divided by 32. Therefore, we will get, here it should be 32 divided by 64. One stand for oxygen and 2 stand for sulfur. 1 stand for oxygen and 2 stand for sulfur dioxide. Here 2 for sulfur dioxide. Therefore, it is 32 divided by 64 divided by 32. Hence, we will get V1 is equal to root 2 times V2. V1 is equal to root 2 times V2. At what temperature will oxygen molecules have same RMS speed as helium molecules at STP? We know that the RMS speed of gas molecules VRMS is equal to under root of 3RT divided by capital M. Therefore, RMS speed of oxygen molecule divided by RMS speed of helium molecule is equal to, it is the temperature of oxygen gas divided by temperature of helium gas, as it is directly proportional, and as it is inversely proportional, it is the molecular mass of helium divided by molecular mass of oxygen, and it comes out to be equal to, here the oxygen and helium, these are at two different temperature, have same RMS speed as helium molecule at STP. Therefore, helium is at STP, therefore its temperature is 273, and we have to determine the temperature of oxygen into the molecular mass of helium is 4 and molecular mass of oxygen is 32. Now it should remain same, therefore 1 equal to, squaring this, square of 1, that is temperature of oxygen, that is 1 divided by 8 into 273. Therefore, the required temperature of oxygen will be equal to 8 into 273, and 8 into 273, the temperature of oxygen required, it is 2184 Kelvin. 2184 Kelvin. Thank you very much. We will see a few more numericals in the next video lecture. We will do this until we will finish all the numericals from the textbook. Thank you very much.